A nation divided, the quota system, and its discontents. Bangladesh, born from revolution, has always been a land of passionate people, fighting for their rights and freedoms. Now it faces a new struggle, the quota system. This system, initially designed to uplift the families of freedom fighters who sacrificed so much for the nation's independence, was meant to be a beacon of hope and gratitude. Originally to uplift freedom fighters' families, it aimed to provide them with opportunities and recognition. However, over time, it became a source of resentment. Students, the inheritors of independence, felt the system was no longer serving its noble purpose. They took to the streets, demanding an end to what they saw as a rigged system. Their voices echoed through the cities, calling for fairness and equality. This wasn't just about jobs, it was about the soul of Bangladesh. The youth believed that the quota system was undermining the very principles of justice and equality that their forefathers fought for. They saw a government more interested in power than honoring sacrifices. The discontent was palpable, as students felt their dreams and aspirations were being stifled by an outdated system. They saw a government more interested in power than honoring sacrifices. The frustration grew as the authorities seemed indifferent to their plight. The quota system, once a symbol of unity, had become a lightning rod for discontent. What was meant to unite the nation was now seen as a tool of division. Young people felt betrayed by the system meant to protect them. Their sense of betrayal was deep, as they believed the system was failing to provide equal opportunities. Young people felt betrayed by the system meant to protect them. They demanded justice, fairness, and a system that truly represented the values of their nation. The world watched as Bangladesh grappled with a new battle for its soul. The international community observed closely as the youth of Bangladesh fought for a future where merit and equality would prevail. Roots of contention, from liberation to a flawed system. In 1971, after a brutal war, Bangladesh emerged from Pakistan's shadow. The new government sought to honor freedom fighters with the quota system. Initially, it enjoyed widespread support as a just reward. However, it morphed into a complex and unwieldy beast. The system expanded to include women, ethnic minorities, and the disabled, creating new complexities. These expansions aimed at social justice also opened the door for abuse. The stage was set for a showdown between idealism and reality. Seeds of dissent, the quota debate, and allegations of misuse. The cracks in the quota system widened over the years. The 30% quota for freedom fighters' descendants became contentious. Students argued it rewarded loyalty over merit, with fake certificates being issued. The system became a breeding ground for corruption and nepotism. The debate highlighted the growing gap between the haves and have-nots. The anger of students resonated with a wider population facing economic inequality. The quota system exposed the limits of idealism in the face of entrenched interests. Power and control. Sheikh Hasina's grip on Bangladesh has been a defining feature of the nation's political landscape. Sheikh Hasina, Bangladesh's long-serving prime minister, loomed large over the quota debate, a contentious issue that sparked widespread protests and debates across the country. Critics accused her of using the system to consolidate power and silence dissent. They argued that her administration's policies were designed to stifle opposition and maintain a tight grip on the political apparatus. Her government's crackdown on previous protests showed her intolerance for dissent. The heavy-handed response to peaceful demonstrations highlighted the lengths to which her administration would go to maintain control. The judiciary, seen as a check on power, was perceived as being under her influence. Many believed that the courts were no longer impartial, but rather tools of the government. Judges critical of the government were often sidelined, removed from their positions, or faced with legal challenges that undermined their authority. The quota issue became a test of Bangladesh's fragile democracy. It was a symbol of the broader struggle for democratic reforms and the fight against authoritarianism. It revealed tensions between a government ruling with an iron fist and a citizenry yearning for transparency, accountability, and genuine democratic governance. The ongoing struggle between these forces continues to shape the future of Bangladesh. Students rise up, nationwide protests for a fairer Bangladesh. The 2018 student protests were unprecedented in Bangladesh. Fueled by social media, they spread across the country. Students from all walks of life demanded an end to the quota system. They sought a fairer Bangladesh, where opportunities were based on merit. The protesters displayed remarkable courage, facing police brutality. Their determination remained unbroken despite the risks. The protests were a testament to the enduring power of hope. The world watched in awe as students took on an unyielding system. Silencing dissent, the crackdown, and the internet blackout. As protests grew, the government's response became heavy-handed. Police brutality escalated, with reports of students being beaten and arrested. The government shut down the internet to control the narrative. Bangladesh was plunged into digital darkness, silencing dissent. The blackout backfired, further enraging protesters and drawing international condemnation. The crackdown exposed the fragility of democracy in Bangladesh. Despite repression, the spirit of the protesters remained unbroken. They had tasted freedom and were not about to let it go without a fight. A glimmer of hope, Supreme Court orders quota reduction. The Supreme Court delivered a landmark ruling, reducing the quota system. The decision was a major victory for student protesters. It validated their struggle and signaled that the judiciary could act as a check on power. While not a complete abolition, it was a significant step forward. The ruling showed that peaceful protest could bring about real change. The fight for a fairer Bangladesh was far from over, but hope remained. The fight persists. Students demand accountability and reform. The Supreme Court's decision did not extinguish the flames of discontent. Students, supported by citizens, vowed to continue their struggle. They demanded justice for those killed, injured, or detained during protests. An independent investigation into the government's crackdown was called for. Beyond accountability, students demanded systemic change. They sought comprehensive electoral reforms and an end to corruption. Their determination was an inspiration, showing that even the smallest voices could make a difference. Echoes of a global struggle, Bangladesh, and the fight for democracy. The student protests in Bangladesh were part of a global wave of pro-democracy movements. These movements, diverse in origins, were united by a yearning for a just world. They were a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The protests in Bangladesh reminded the world that the fight for democracy is never over. They showed that the struggle for freedom and justice is universal. The students' struggle inspired those fighting for freedom worldwide. The unfinished revolution, a generation's quest for a just future. The student protests were a reminder that revolutions are messy and often unfinished. These young voices echoed through the streets, demanding change and challenging the status quo. Their courage in the face of adversity was a powerful statement. The fight for a democratic and just Bangladesh continues. Each banner, each chant, and each step taken by these students was a call for a better tomorrow. They were not just fighting for themselves, but for the future of their nation. The students knew their struggle was about more than a quota system. It was about dismantling systemic inequalities and building a society where everyone has a fair chance. Their unity and diversity were their strengths. It was about the right to have a say in their future and equal opportunities. They envisioned a Bangladesh where merit and hard work are rewarded, and where every individual can dream without limitations. The challenges facing Bangladesh are immense, but the student spirit offers hope. Their determination and resilience in the face of obstacles are a beacon of light in turbulent times. They remind us that change is possible. Their struggle is a testament to the unfinished business of democracy. It highlights the ongoing need for vigilance and activism to protect and expand democratic ideals. Their passion is a driving force for progress. The fight for a more just and equitable world continues, demanding attention and support. These students are the torchbearers of a movement that seeks to create a fairer society for all. Their voices must be heard and their efforts supported.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.